Shineza? What's a Shineza?
Well, in today's Madeira coffee guide, you're going to find out, because I'm going to make ordering coffee in Madeira easy. Coffee is a huge part of culture in Madeira. From the small local cafes to the new specialty coffee shops, you can find coffee everywhere, but it can be a little daunting when you walk into a coffee shop and see names you don't understand. So, I've come to one of my favourite coffee shops in Funchal, Maya Coffee. Really cool little coffee shop. So we're going to make up all the coffees for you and give you the more common names so you know which you need to order when you come on holiday to Madeira. Let's do it. First up, we have bica, Madeira's take on the classic espresso. Interestingly, the name bica actually comes from Lisbon, and it stands for Bebe isto com açúcar. Yeah, still working on my Portuguese. But in English, it means drink this with sugar. When espresso was first introduced, it was considered quite strong for the Portuguese, so people were encouraged to sweeten it. Hence the name bica. It stuck, and it's now the go-to term for espresso, both in Lisbon and in Madeira. Whether or not you add sugar, it is a daily ritual here, costing anywhere between 60 cents and €1, I guess, in the more expensive places. And you'll see locals drinking it everywhere. It's not quite as strong as an espresso, and if you are looking for something more intense, you can always try a bica curta. That is essentially the ristretto equivalent, shorter, stronger, and packed with a little more punch. Next up is Karde Cafe, a lighter, more diluted version of the bica. If you prefer a shorter, milder black coffee, this is the one to go for. It's sometimes made by reusing the grounds of the coffee from the bica, giving it a softer, less intense flavour, but still with that rich espresso taste. Or it's just made with a touch more water. You could also order bica, which is a full espresso shot. The closest Italian equivalent of these, or common names of these, is probably a lungo, but if you're ordering Karde Cafe, you usually need to say Karde Cafe, because there's also something called Karde de Limão, which is like a lemon with hot water. So make sure you're ordering the coffee. Finally, on the without milk options, we have Shino, literally translating to Chinese man. Not really sure where that comes from, but it's used everywhere. It is Madeira's take on Americano. Not quite the same, but close enough. As you'd expect, this coffee is a longer, more diluted version of the bica, where hot water is added to the espresso, making a smoother, lighter coffee with the rich flavour of the espresso. So, if Americano is your normal drink, Shino is the one you should be ordering. Next up, we have one of my personal go-to drinks, the Garo. This one is perfect for when you're in a rush and you need that quick, milky coffee fix. It's still short. The Garo is Madeira's take on what's known as macchiato. It's a short, strong shot of espresso with a splash of hot milk, giving it just enough smoothness to take the edge off the espresso without being too milky. It's quick, it's light, it's ideal for when you need that caffeine hit with a little bit of milk and you don't have much time to spare. Price-wise, €1, €1.10, around there. If you're looking for a larger milky coffee, something like a flat white perhaps, Shineza is the one you should be going for. Like the Garo, it obviously comes with milk, but it's bigger, usually 2 to 3 times the size. Again, it literally means Chinese woman, and this is only used in Madeira. It's not used in mainland Portugal. There you would say meia de leite, and, well, I don't think there is a specific equivalent. It could be something like a cappuccino, and it could be something like a flat white. Again, another one that I order regularly when I'm having a milky coffee. But if you want a milky coffee where you can still taste some of the strength of the espresso, Shineza is the one you want. Next up, we have Galao, which is Madeira's version of the latte, I guess. It's creamy, it's milky, it's made with 1 part bica, so espresso, and 3 parts steamed milk, and usually served in a tall glass. The Galao is perfect for the smoother, milder coffees. Those who don't like it too strong and want to taste something milky, If locals are drinking it, it's usually drunk in the morning, but to be honest, you mostly see them drinking the others. It's normally just the tourists who drink this one. If you like lattes or cafe au lait, the Galao will definitely hit the spot. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, where the is my cappuccino? Well, cappuccino in Madeira isn't always what it seems. As I say, normally, what you should order is Chinesa, or perhaps Galao if you don't like it so strong. But you can get caught out. If you go into some of the local places and order cappuccino, it will come out with this huge whipped cream on top, more like a dessert than a coffee. If that's your thing, go for it. But to be honest, in more of the modern places or the places which are keeping an eye on things, because so many tourists come and ask for cappuccino, you get what you actually expect. But if you want it guaranteed to have your frothy milky coffee, stick with the Chinesa and wait for dessert later in the day. Alright guys, that wraps up my coffee guide in Madeira. In terms of Portuguese, I'm probably not your best person to be asking, but if you wanted to order an espresso or a Chinesa or whatever, you would say, bom dia, good morning, uma bica, faz favor, a bica please, an espresso please, uma Chinesa, faz favor, a Chinesa please. Pretty simple, can't really go wrong with that. Do not be intimidated when you walk into the coffee shop. And don't forget, if you want to get my Madeira food map, you can download that too. Very useful. Over 150 places in Madeira, cafes and restaurants and bars. You're going to have a good time if you follow that. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video.